Okay, honey bunnies, we're going to review today writing a slope-intercept form equation from a word problem and making sure that we discuss what each part of that equation represents. Our discussion is going to be around basically this one word problem. We're going to talk about it at length and hopefully we'll be able to come up with a shortcut or review the shortcut for writing equations directly from the word problem. Okay, directly from the word problem, we want to be able to write an equation. That is our goal. Okay, so the word problem goes like this. Scandia Student Night charges $5 to enter, but game tickets are only $1 each. Let X represent the number of tickets and Y represent the total cost. So the first thing we need to do is make a table or a chart of values. So X is the number of tickets that you're buying, and Y is your total cost. So I want you to imagine going and buying tickets. Now if you go and you realize, oh darn it, I don't have enough money to buy any tickets, 0 tickets, how much is your total cost? Your total cost would actually be $5. Not 0, but 5. What was that 5 for? The 5 was for entering, to go hang out with your friends. Even though you didn't buy any tickets, you had to spend 5 to go with them. Okay? What if you bought 1 ticket? If you bought 1 ticket, then you'd be spending a total of $6, because it was 5 to enter and 1 more for the ticket. If you bought 2 tickets, it would be $5 to enter, and then the $2 for the 2 tickets. So now you're up to 7. Every time you buy a ticket, you add $1 to your total cost. Buy a ticket, add $1. Okay, so now we're going to graph this. We're going to graph this word problem. We're going to start at the point 0, 5. 0 tickets is $5. 1 ticket is $6. 2 tickets is $7, and so on. We can go ahead and draw our line, I think. Goes like that, okay? And then part C wants us to write the equation, for this graph, okay? So the graph, let's see, y equals mx plus b. We're going to write the equation. For me, the easiest part is taking out the y-intercept, and I can put in the part where it starts, which is 5. And then the next part I need to focus on is the slope. Okay, the slope is going to go in for m right here. Okay, and the slope, I'm looking at the graph, it rises 1, runs 1, 1 over 1, 1 over 1, which is 1. Based on our conversation the other day, we need to simplify that and just leave it actually as x. So our equation is y equals x plus 5. Now, we haven't finished with the problem yet, but if you need to, go ahead and pause the video and get caught up. Okay, so the next part of our conversation is going to be around this equation. We're going to be discussing the different parts of the equation. We're going to discuss the slope and the y-intercept. We're going to kind of trace where we see it happening on all parts of this paper right now. So the first place I see it occurring, or let's see, the first thing I see is this plus 5. Let's go ahead and focus on this plus 5. Where do we see the plus 5? Well, we see the plus 5 right here on the graph. It's the y-intercept, right? We know that that's supposed to be the y-intercept on the end of the equation. And we see it right here across from the 0. Okay? So our y-intercept is going to be across from 0. Let's go back all the way to the word problem. Where did we see the 5 in the word problem? We saw it when it was $5 to enter. So the key here is that it only costs $5 to enter, and you only enter 1 time. You don't have to pay the $5 any other time, just the 1 time that you enter. So now we're going to go through and we're going to look at the slope, which is that invisible 1 that's in there in the equation. Where does that on the graph? On the graph, it's the 1 over 1, 1 over 1, 1 over 1, 1 over 1. It's the slope, right? And how many times does that slope happen? Well, it happens forever. It actually goes on forever. So the slope is the number that repeats. We saw that because every time we bought a ticket, we went up by $1. Every time we bought a ticket, we went up by $1. So that's the repeating 1 that we see on the chart. Now, where did we see that 1 in the word problem? We saw that because tickets are $1 each. So the number that is our slope is actually a number that repeats in the word problem. The number that is our y-intercept is the number that only happens once. Let's go ahead and fill this in. In our equation, the y-intercept is the number that only happens once. sorry about that, we have construction going on. Number that happens one time. In this case, it was the entry fee. And the number that's for the slope, the m, is the repeating number. Or in this case, you could even call it the unit rate. It was how much each ticket costs. Okay, so when we're writing an equation, we want to keep that in mind. We want to keep in mind that the repeating number, the unit rate, is going to be your slope, and you want to remember that the one-time number is going to be your y-intercept. So let's go ahead and try and give that a go. A canoe rental service charges a $20 transportation fee to the river and $15 an hour to rent a canoe. Let x represent the number of hours and y represent the total cost of the field trip. So in this word problem, we have two numbers. We have the $20 and the $15. Which quantity repeats itself? This is going to be the slope. Okay, so $20 transportation fee or $15 an hour. Your key right here is that it says $15 an hour, like saying $15 per hour. That's going to be the one that repeats itself. Okay, that's going to be our slope, by the way, don't forget. Which quantity only happens once? The transportation fee only happens once. They just have to take you to the river one time. Okay, that's going to be your initial value or your y-intercept. So let's go ahead and write the equation. Y equals 15x plus 20. So this is $15 per hour. X is going to be the number of hours. $15 per hour plus the $20 transportation fee. Okay, so that's going to be the shortcut that we'll be using. Before we go over the answers to numbers 2, 3, and 4, I would like you to try them on your own. So you're going to pause this video, do these 3 problems, and then come back and press play to check your answers. So here are the answers for numbers 2, 3, and 4. The equation for number 2, if I look at part C, is y equals 150x plus 250. The equation for number 3 is going to be y equals 24x plus 100. And the equation for number 4 is y equals 0.25x plus 2499. Thanks, anybody's.